Hello, I'm Charles Rowe. For an inside look at the beach, stay with us for these stories next on the Oregon Coast Show.
This next portion of the Oregon Coast Show brought to you by Cylinder Inflatable Boats, leading the industry for over 25 years with the finest inflatable products.
Recently, 2 people left Newport on a sailboat for a trip to Portland. A sudden fire broke out, and the 2 fortunately were rescued by the Coast Guard. But what is amazing is they happened to have a video camera with them at the time, and they recorded some of the footage you're about to see.
The ocean, well, there's those smokers again. We will probably have seas that could build up to 20 feet by Friday. But as the old saying goes, you can't find adventure, you gotta make it.
From the moment he awoke to the instant the ship went down, Kim Johns had the camera rolling. At this point, if he'd known the kind of high drama he'd be directing that day, Kim might have thought twice about getting out of bed.
Morning. Morning.
Dan Bunch, Kim's leading man for this saga. The 2 plan to move Dan's 24-foot sailboat to Portland and do some diving on the way. The adventure almost cost the 2 men their lives. What's amazing is that they didn't just live to tell about it, they brought back this detailed record on videotape.
Here she goes, the rudder. The next 24 hours, this will be home.
Kim Johns and Dan Bunch are no strangers to high-sea adventure. Dan teaches sailing, Kim is a highly regarded diving instructor, and both own dive shops.
We use this as a pickup boat. Real nice to have out in the ocean. Of course, both of us being dive shop owners don't have a problem with equipment, and as you all know, diving is an equipment-intensive sport. So we won't be short on any of our safety equipment.
Included in the gear list is Kim's video camera. It's designed for home use, very small, very easy to operate, but what makes this one special is that it fits in an underwater housing with an extremely wide-angle lens.
The unit itself only weighs 9 pounds out of water, and it weighs 6 ounces underwater, so it's very easy and maneuverable to move around, and I don't have to express how much abuse it takes because we've all seen that.
Since Kim started bringing along the camera, his outings have taken on a new twist. Now it's not just an adventure, it's a production.
We try to, choreograph a little of the action. Here we are at the beach, today's date, here's what we're going to do, and we usually get the footage going out through the surf, and because that's usually pretty exciting stuff. Usually I'm the driver, and I have another friend of mine that's usually holding the camera, and we're both talking during the whole time.
Here's one of Kim's dramas going through the surf near Cannon Beach.
Oh, this one's off. No. We're in a hell of a bad situation. Let's get the other paddle out and start paddling backwards. We're in the here, brah. Here, give him the paddle. You guys both start paddling backwards. Which way? Well, each you got here. You get on the other side. Get on the other side. Hurry up. All right, yeah. Paddle backwards and just keep the nose straight. Paddle your way. There you go. We're not looking good, man. All right, keep the nose straight on this. Keep the nose straight. You gotta We're back. Hey, brah. How far away are we from the beach? Far enough. I got 1 paddle. I got 1 paddle. Come on, man. Get up here, grab the paddle. Get his jacket off. All right, as you can see, we're upside down. We've lost all our stuff. We're still a ways from shore. You can see gear floating around. Oh, I almost got my legs. I think all of us is taking in a lot of seawater.
I'm trying to get loose and get free, and the waves, every time it goes over, you're getting a bunch of water and choking, and he still had this camera rolling the whole time. And I asked him, I said, hey, was the camera on the whole time? He says, you dang right the camera's on. The cameraman stays with this action. And after watching that, for a couple of weeks, and you know, it kind of put me in that mentality and that frame of mind that, you know, hey, the camera's going to keep rolling. The camera's, you know, strapped onto me. There's no use, you know, why should I shut it off?
Kim held the same frame of mind for his trip with Dan. He kept the camera rolling, but like the Flying Dutchman, it would again bring trouble.
As we were sailing up, something really unique happened. An entire herd of whales came by, and 15, 20 whales, and this one came up and broached pretty close to the boat, a couple, 200 or 300 feet. And
just had one giant of a whale just broach right off the port side.
Big whale. There's probably about, so far we've seen 8, 9, maybe 10 plumes in different areas.
I jumped in the inflatable and was running out to, you know, get in amongst them. And when I looked back, I saw smoke coming from the cockpit of the boat, and Kim was up on the deck running back and forth, and then I lost him in the smoke.
Feels like the boat's shaking. Oh, we got trouble now, man. Oh, Dad! Dad! There's smoke going out everywhere. Maybe I can get to the bulkhead. Oh, there's flames, man. We're on fire. Dad! We're on fire. I gotta get my gear. Dad! Dad! He can't hear me, you jerk. Dad! Dad! I can't get... Oh, man. Dad! This baby's on fire. Get the gear. Oh.
The boom on that was holding the sail had melted the ropes, the wind shifted, or the sail shifted, and this thing came around and hit me in the back of the head. You know, I had the camera up in the air, and I fell on my shoulder, and just slid right overboard. And of course, the camera was on the whole time.
Where's the boat? The boat? Get the boat for a second. Come on, let me get to the boat. Easy. Oh, my arm, man. Easy.
Dan had no idea the camera was on, and he just set the camera on the boat, and he got, of course, the footage of him pulling me in the boat.
Oh, my arm! Come on! Get in the boat! All right, take it easy, take it easy.
once I got him back in the boat, then we went back toward the sailboat. The entire boat was just totally aflame.
It doesn't look good at all, man. Did you get to the radio? No, man, I couldn't get to the radio. Oh, man. I couldn't get to anything. It was just too much fire. Where's the little radio? Relax. I think I man, the radio. Man, cook in your bag.
Rudder calling the Coast Guard. You put it in, or keep okay.
Hurry up!
Coast Guard, be advised, we are about, we're off of Cape Weather. We're about 10-15 miles out. We had a fire aboard. We abandoned it to our lifeboat. We need some assistance. I've got one person hurt. The boat's on fire. Looks like she's going to go down.
Rudder. Station Claw Bay. Roger.
Roger. Send somebody out here. All right, we'll stand by. The boat is completely destroyed.
Finally, the Coast Guard got there, and we were both loaded onto the motor lifeboat, and then the helicopter showed up, and they thought it would be just a little bit too bumpy of a ride back with the injuries, and decided that it would be easier if they just airlifted me. And we were in the hospital within about 10 or 15 minutes. I can't express my thanks to the Coast Guard and what a good job they did there.
After seeing all this, you're thinking to yourself, a brilliant insurance fraud. It's not that easy. Dan Bunch's boat was underinsured by almost $4,000, not to mention $6,000 worth of equipment that now sits at the bottom of the Pacific. The Coast Guard is, of course, investigating this incident. That's standard procedure in the case of any shipwreck. And what's the cameraman have to say about all this? Well, what any good cameraman would say.
It just turned out the way it turned out, and you know, we're all lucky to be alive, and we're lucky to have the footage.
And the boat is history. It is gone. We have lost the rudder.